Hello, and welcome to the TV&T podcast. I'm Adriana.
And I'm Selena.
And we are two sisters that have decided to let the internet into the conversations that we have about TV and pop culture over endless cups of tea. In our house, the reoccurring questions are, is it tea time? To which the answer is always yes.
And what are we watching? So pour yourself a cup and get ready to get into it.
Hey guys!
What's up, everyone? We are back for another episode of TV&T. How you doing?
How you doing?
We doing a little 1D today. How you doing?
Oh my god, this was so annoying. We just had an hour of technical difficulties to try to get the recording to work, and let's just say it's like I don't even work with tech.
Oh, you could never tell.
It's like I don't even know what a computer is at this
point. You could never tell that you work in tech because I'm here giving you advice. Like, okay, do this, Adriana, do this.
No, but like the thing with technology, it's like it's so diversified, it's so varying, and hardware is different from software, and that's different from code, and it's just all very different. So we had some technical difficulties, but we're here. And we're going to make this fabulous episode. We're just going to leave that behind us.
I'm just so excited to be back. I love recording with you. And
this has been so fun. And, shout out to all of our listeners so far. Like, I see our analytics. I'm like, okay, we got a couple numbers.
You haven't even told me. Okay, I haven't seen any of the analytics. I don't even have the login for our stuff. We need to have like a business meeting.
Yes, we do. Okay, we'll sit down.
Yeah.
This week and we'll have a meeting. And we have to go over some stuff. So we'll do that this week. Okay. Maybe on our vacation we'll have like a work day.
Sounds good.
We're going to our vacation home.
Mm-hmm.
We're being those people in quarantine. Our family is sick of our house, so we're going to
another house
to do nothing. We're not going to do anything. We're just getting out of the walls that we live in to go in other walls. So that will be fun.
It'll be fun and fresh, but let's get into the episode. Oh wait, are we going to record at the vacay house?
Yes, we have to.
Okay, I'll pack the mic. Regardless, let's get into our catch-up quote of the week. What's your quote, hun?
I lost.
And you were clowning me for losing my quote last week.
Okay, my quote comes from the movie Gia, starring Angelina Jolie.
Love it.
And it just says, "This is life, not heaven. You don't have to be perfect."
Oh, I love that.
Right?
Adriana,
okay. So,
have you come around?
I think I have. Sometimes you need to have a breakdown to have a breakthrough. And as we both know, I lost it last week.
Yes.
Last Sunday, I had a total mental collapse.
Yeah.
I cried for hours.
Are you serious?
We were out there in the kitchen as a family, and we were having a very emotional discussion. And I was crying then, and then when I came to my room, I was crying some more. And I got drunk in between that, so it was like an emotional drunk cry when I got to my room. I was crying in the shower.
Those drunk cries hurt so bad, but they be like over nothing.
But after that was done, I was exhausted. I went to sleep early, and like the next day, I woke up and I was like fresh as a daisy. I was up before everybody else, and I just felt like, you know what? I just can't even stress about this anymore. Like, I just have to let this go. Like, everything that I've been holding on to, like the emotions around quarantine and, not really working and not having my routine and feeling just like pessimistic and lost. I'm just trying to let that go.
You're letting it go.
What will happen with the world is going to happen with the world, and I have no control of it because I'm not the president. And so I just have to let go and let God and just, I'll face the challenge when it comes to me. I can't stress over what hasn't happened yet.
I love that for you.
So that's where I'm at.
I am actually very happy that you've come around. You seem cheerier. you know?
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
But my quote comes from Scream, the TV show that was
Okay.
on MTV.
Okay.
And it reads,
Nothing I would watch.
yeah, I that was such like a 13-year-old me show to watch. Scream, the TV show. Regardless, it reads, okay, I'm sorry, but all of this just screams bad idea. And that is my
Going
feeling
on.
for the week because, like, everything reopening, bad idea. Everyone just going back to normal,
Not
bad
so
idea.
much.
I'm just very confused. And as soon as I was settling into my quarantine, it's just like,
It's
oh,
over.
by the way, quarantine's done.
I know.
Right?
It kind of like when our aunt said to me, she was like, you know, the world is opening back up again, and you'll probably only have like 2 more weeks before you have to go back to work. And I was like, wait a minute. I haven't gotten through my list.
Yeah.
I had made a list at the beginning of quarantine of things I wanted to do, and I have done none of that. I have like eaten, I've slept, I have cried, and I have drank, and that is all I've done.
Yeah.
For the past like 7 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
And now I'm like, well, wait a minute. Go back to work. Like, I thought I had at least had another 4 weeks.
Yeah, I am just like very confused. And FIU was going to have remote recording for the whole summer, but the fact that I'm going to go back to school like this year is just very disconcerting. I don't want to be in a classroom with nasty people.
I agree.
But regardless, let's get into the TV, what you guys are really here for.
Yes. What we watched this week, we binged it very quickly.
Mhm.
We love a Ryan Murphy production.
Yes.
And he had a new show come out on Netflix called Hollywood.
Oh my gosh.
And, you know, it gave us everything that Ryan loves to give us. It was campy. It was, the people were beautiful. It had all of his faves in the casting. And it was really good. I enjoyed it.
Ryan Murphy is my favorite screenwriter, okay? And he's actually been my favorite screenwriter for the longest time. Like before any of the shows we watched together, I loved American Horror Story. He's just so clever and his social commentary is just like no other. And his productions, oh my gosh, like I love a writer and a director that gives us looks.
Yes.
I love a writer and a director that gives us iconic moments.
Yeah. And it really transports you to a place. Like I think more than anything, everything feels like you're in it.
He builds a world, and I feel like that's something that movies really do. TV doesn't really do that as much for me. All of his shows do that.
Yeah, I agree. I don't watch American Horror Story because I don't watch anything scary, but everything that I have watched from him, I love.
Oh my gosh, yes. Like The Politician, Scream Queens.
What's that? No, I was thinking The Politician.
Glee.
Gianni Versace.
Oh my gosh, Versace, yes.
Yeah, that was really good as well. So Hollywood, let's get into it. What did you think? Who did you love? I thought the casting of this show was so great. Like, they're all so hot.
Yes.
And they were all really great in their roles, I thought.
I think he picked the most amazing actors for this. Of course, he has his go-to people. Darren Criss, the same kid from The Politician. I think his last name is Pickling. I followed him on Instagram. Y'all, let me know if you know. James Pickling. Let me know if you know who I'm talking about. But he is so cute.
So cute.
Oh my gosh. And then I'm obsessed with the new guy, Jeremy Pope.
Yes, love him.
Oh my gosh.
Such a little hottie. Such a little cutie. And that role was just like, oh, it just warmed my heart. So the show is about a group of young people that are living in Hollywood trying to make it in the movie industry. Some of them are actors, some of them are writers, some of them are directors. And they are working for a film studio, Ace Studios. And
in the 1940s.
Yeah. And the show does a really great job of mixing fact and fiction. They have some real life characters that were in Hollywood in that time period. And they melded the story together with their fictional world but real characters in their lives. And I just thought the blend of what's real, what's fake, what we're watching, what's factual was just really cool.
Yeah.
Because it's like people I knew. Like I watch a lot of old movies, so they're like, oh, we're gonna change one of the characters. He gets a name change, and his agent says, oh, I'm gonna name you Rock. And I was like, Rock Hudson? Like immediately I knew who he was.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just thought it was really cool to see the real life characters get melded into this new story that was being told.
Mm-hmm.
And the commentary of what these young actors go through when they get to Hollywood and the pressures to conform on, the societal norms of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And also just the hoops that they had to go through to make it. It was, I would think it's competitive now, but that you really had to be above and beyond so talented and so beautiful and just kind of multifaceted in a way that a lot of stars I feel like are not in today's era.
Oh, for sure.
As much. And I don't know, I loved it.
It really did feel like a biopic, you guys. It felt like all of those people were real and we knew them, and it brought the entire thing to life, at least for me. And I cried.
Yes.
I laughed. Like it took me on a real emotional roller coaster. I will say that the social commentary, chef kiss.
Yeah.
Because I feel like sometimes Ryan Murphy goes overboard with it, but this time it was tasteful. He tackled sexual assault and sexual misconduct in the industry, which was a very hot topic recently with the whole Harvey Weinstein thing. I like how he showcased that. I liked how he showed the character struggle. I also liked how they addressed some of the other jobs that people would do while they're acting, because that's a very big thing in Hollywood. Like you're an actor, but you're on the side tricking.
Oh, for sure. Like you're a waitress for real and you're like trying to be an actor. But I did think it was interesting that they had them all be sex workers.
Yes, because a lot of actors are sex workers. That is like the easiest way to make money if you're like young and cute.
Yeah.
Especially in LA.
Yeah. And
I was sad for them for sure.
I was sad for them, but you never really saw. Well, I think because the characters that were doing that were all men, men will automatically always be in a position of power just from body size and just, where they stand in society in contrast to women. So I did think that by having men in those positions and in those characters, it did make it seem like, yes, we're desperate and we're doing this, but I'm making the choice to. Whereas the story that's told of sex workers that are women is so often from a place of, I'm desperate. I have no other choice. I have to sell my body. I've degraded myself. I feel ashamed. I don't feel empowered by doing this.
Yes.
And I thought that was like I don't know. I thought it was interesting.
I thought it was interesting too, because even though I was sad for them, the dialogue around their sex work was very empowering. All of the men seemed like they kind of wanted to do what they were doing and they liked it.
Yeah.
Whereas the narrative around women in sex work is like it's trauma each time you turn a trick.
Yeah,
and it's degrading.
It can go wrong, and you have to have a pimp to protect you.
Yeah, women don't really seem empowered in any of the sex work movies, media,
Yeah.
So I thought that was very interesting as well. And I like Ryan Murphy started that dialogue, but he also tackled race in a very interesting way in this. It was different to show how things were back then compared to like his usual commentary. It's like, oh, Black Lives Matter, like this is what's happening now. To see it back then was a really good contrast because you really get to see how much things haven't really changed.
Yeah.
I
agree.
Yeah.
It was before the civil rights era. And so Jim Crow laws were still very much in place, but you saw the Black characters kind of moving in and out of making their own choices and not being forced into positions that confine them by their race.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was interesting that they, even though the people around them were all white and in positions of power to advance their lives, they treated it with respect,
mm-hmm.
and they never once really made any of the Black characters feel, I felt, like less than.
Yeah.
Or not as talented.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they were like, when they found out that the screenwriter was in fact Black, they were like, oh my God, this is fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
They loved him already. They loved the screenplay that he had written, but they were like, oh my God, who would have thought? And it's one of those things, it's like, you shouldn't be surprised that Black people are talented, but I don't think they treated it as like a, oh my God, this is something that isn't the truth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they didn't treat them like, oh, you're the exception.
Yeah.
You know, kind of thing. And I liked that.
I liked that too. All of these characters did have their own issues, but they really seemed empowered. Even how they addressed like gender in it when Avis became the studio head. She was the first female studio head, and she was just so respected. And it wasn't because she was good. It was just because, like, no, respect me. Like, I'm the boss.
I'm the boss. Like,
yeah.
I stepped into this role, and regardless of if you think that I should be here or not, like, I'm here,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to do the job. And she did do the job.
Mm-hmm.
I like that as well. And how they treated sexuality, I thought was interesting as well.
Oh, Ryan Murphy always puts on for the gay folk. Always. You know that he is going to put on for them.
Yeah. Like, I thought it was interesting that they took a real character, Rock Hudson, a real person, who was closeted for most of his career in real life. And then it came out later that he was gay, and then Mommy just told me that he eventually died of AIDS. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I thought seeing that kind of like evolution of how he handled his sexuality within this story, it might not have been completely factual with what happened in real life, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
But I just thought I thought the power dynamics between the gay men that were closeted and using that power against the other boys that they knew were also closeted, and not from a place of like allyship, but a place of like, I want to exploit that.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
But that's Hollywood, baby.
Yeah. I mean, it makes you see like, it doesn't just happen to women.
Mm-hmm.
Exploitation and assault doesn't just happen to women, and obviously we know that, but you rarely see it playing out on screen.
You very rarely see it playing out, and I really like that Ryan Murphy addressed that. I don't think I've seen a show address it as well as this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And besides that, I mean, Rock Hudson...
Outlander did a good job with that as well.
What?
Outlander? Like
but that was brutal.
Like,
it got to the point where they were like over sexualizing the men in that sense.
Yeah.
I feel like what's that word? They just overdid it, and it went to a point where it was no longer tasteful. All of the gay relationships in this show were so adorable to me, and so cute, and
Rock
wholesome.
And what was his name? Rock and the black guy. That was the screenwriter. What was his character's name?
Archie.
Rock and Archie were so cute to me.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I just like loved them. They just wanted to be in love, and they just wanted to live together and be boyfriends.
They just wanted to be boyfriends.
I just loved that. I was like, oh my God, when he like got the apartment for them at the end, and he was like, I just want you to be my boyfriend. I was like, oh, I want to be your boyfriend too.
Right? It was just really adorable. And these people felt real.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel like, I feel like sometimes when you watch a show with the gay characters, and especially a gay romance, it's just like, oh, we're throwing this in here. You guys like just, we're just throwing it in there.
Yeah,
and it might be a little bit like sexualized, like, because
Yes.
people do sexualize two men together.
Mhm.
This did not sexualize it at all. These people felt real, and like,
it felt like they had a real relationship that was built on just like connection and chemistry and like mutual respect.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I like that. I also loved the Camille character.
Oh, Camille.
I think she's the girl that's playing her is so beautiful.
She's great.
And I thought she was like such a refined girl.
Mm-hmm.
She was just perfectly poised, and I really like that character. I like how she was able to land the role in the production. She was the first Black woman to star in a romantic lead in the story, and she like took on the role, took on the challenges, took on the adversity and the backlash that came with that for that time. And I thought she faced it head on. And at the end, I'm not going to spoil it for people that might not have watched it.
Oh, if you're listening to our podcast and you are not expecting to hear spoilers, like you're like in the wrong spot.
But at the end, like, the people that really deserved the Oscars when the film was nominated, like, they got them. And I loved that. I loved how fanatical it was and how, like, just completely unrealistic it probably was.
Okay. I think this is very different for Ryan Murphy because usually his stories end on like a somber note, more of like a realistic note. And that's like the route that most shows and movies have taken as of late. They want things to be like realistic.
I know, I hate that.
Oh my gosh, but I just love the fact that this ended well. It ended really happy. It was a happy show. I got everything that I wanted out of it, and I'm not used to feeling that way anymore.
I know. The one thing that killed me at the end was Dick dying.
Oh.
And that was just so sad. But everything else was like such a pleasant payoff. Ellen and Ernie got together.
Ellen and Ernie, my other favorite couple.
Like, I stand. Like, they are so cute. One thing I love are like old people falling in love.
I love old people falling in love.
And these characters were, in their like 60s probably.
Yeah.
And, they were both widows. And they were alone and they were unhappy, and then they met and they fell in love, and they were just so cute. And he was dying, he had cancer, but she just didn't care. She was like, I just want to enjoy this feeling, this love, this joy for as long as I can. It doesn't matter if it's 2 days or 2 weeks or 2 years or 2 decades. Like, I just want it. And I just like love that. I love an old people story that is like just hopeful and joyful, and it's about like rebirth even at an old age, because it just makes you feel like it doesn't matter if you're like 8 or 80, like there's so much life in front of you.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. That was probably my favorite thing in the show. I wasn't even expecting to have that moment. And I was just like, oh, I love this.
This show made me love again, because if you think about it, all of the couples were just so cute and so respectful of each other. They really supported each other in all of their dreams. Even the one couple that broke up in the show, which is Jack and his wife, when they broke up, it was so amicable. Even though she had an affair, like, they just still loved each other and they treated each other so
with respect,
so well.
I know.
So I really liked that aspect of the show, because I feel like we do see a lot of toxic relationships play out on TV nowadays.
Oh my God. So everybody's toxic. Like, no one's happy. No one's in love. No one respects each other. Like, no one should ever be together as far as TV is concerned.
Yeah.
I really loved it. I thought it was and I liked that it felt like this is one complete story and this could just live on its own or keep going. I feel like there's definitely room for more because I'm sure this is doing really well, and they're going to give Ryan Murphy more.
They're like number 1 right now on Netflix, or number 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like that at the end they were like, oh, we're going to greenlight another movie, and we're going to make it, and, you know, they're going to continue to do more. And I do think there's more growth for all the characters that would be nice to see play out. But this felt like a complete story. You never... Oh, so many shows now, they're like limited series, and then they come back for a second season, and you're like, you kind of ruined it. Like, it was perfect where it was, but you've gotten greedy. Like, I feel like if this was just one season, I'm satisfied.
Oh, I'm definitely satisfied. And that is something that I would actually rewatch in a couple months from now.
For sure.
When I just want to watch like a
Something
happy
pleasant.
thing. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm definitely going to rewatch it.
Oh, I absolutely loved it. Props to Ryan Murphy for trying something new.
Yes.
He never disappoints.
Yes. And I loved the sets. I thought like he needs an Emmy for just like this the dressing of the scenes. Like,
yeah,
they were so spot on. Like, I just loved looking at the background, and just everything was just so glossy, and it felt like you were in a movie. It's almost like when you're at Universal Studios and you're like on that fake movie set, and you're like, oh, I'm in New York. Like, it felt like that in a way that was almost like a throwback. Like, it was very retro of being like, you know, when they used to shoot like TV shows on a soundstage with an audience, and it felt
like a
you were on a set. Yeah, it felt like that, and I really loved that. I just loved how it was shot. I liked that it was bright. The clothes were amazing.
Oh my gosh,
like,
the clothing is always amazing.
Everybody was snatched. Like, the girls were they were perfection. The hair, like, who at Hallmark came over? I thought it was great. Like, the makeup was so good. I just felt like they built a really great little world, and I loved it for sure.
That show really just did it for me.
It was everything 10 I needed this week.
Oh my gosh, it was exactly what I needed this week. 10 of 10 for sure. Let us know.
5 stars.
Yeah, let us know what you guys thought of the show. And if you haven't seen it, sorry if we spoiled it, but regardless, please go watch it. You absolutely need to.
Yes.
So that was all for Hollywood on Netflix. You guys, we finally made it back to Netflix. And, you know,
we're like in Netflix right now because I feel like I'm about to get started on some more Netflix stuff this week. So that'll be good.
Yeah. So before we move on to tea, I do want to mention a few other things that I'm watching without Adriana. Okay. So this week I found, I have to use the word found because I just stumbled upon this.
Okay.
On YouTube, I found Say Yes to the Dress India. Okay. And from Say Yes to the Dress India, I found a spin-off YouTube show called Nasrana Diaries.
Okay.
And it's about this Indian bridal shop in New York.
Okay.
And they just film the brides coming in, and it's like a regular Say Yes to the Dress, but it's Indian wedding gowns.
Okay.
And I just found it so interesting and so amazing. The dresses are beautiful. All of their budgets are like huge, super big, and like they usually get multiple dresses. So they'll have like a wedding dress and then the reception dress, and just the culture and everything is very interesting. What do you think?
Interessant. I have no interest in it though.
Oh my gosh, I just love Say Yes to the Dress. I don't know, something about it, like, and maybe
it's the fashion for you.
Maybe it's the fashion, but I've literally started getting targeted ads for wedding dresses, wedding planners, wedding planning classes. I signed up for a wedding planning webinar, and we are just going deep in quarantine into this world.
What?
Yeah.
Are you gonna be a wedding planner?
Maybe.
Okay.
I can plan your wedding.
I'm down.
I wouldn't be like a wedding planner, like to go out and get clients, but like when I have my wedding, like that shit's
like
gonna
you're
be
prepared.
Yeah.
You know what's happening.
Yeah. So one of my
I cannot.
One of my conclusions from Nasrana Diaries is actually about the Indian culture.
Okay.
I feel like in normal Say Yes to the I shouldn't say normal, okay. I feel like in the American version of Say Yes to the Dress, the brides they take their family's opinions into account, but if they like a dress, they're just gonna get it. In the Indian version of Say Yes to the Dress, everyone must approve of that dress before the bride purchases it.
It's a group project.
I
would hate that.
Right? Like, even if the bride likes it and the mom likes it, if the brother doesn't like it, the dress isn't getting bought. If the sister doesn't like it, it's not getting bought. And
sister?
Yes.
Drake.
It's a thing that I've noticed. You guys should all watch it and let me know what you think about this as well. And then also, Indian brides don't mind if their groom sees the dress before the wedding day. So, absolutely. Like, a lot of the episodes, the boyfriend will come along and help them pick the outfit.
Oh, that's gross.
No, but, like, that shop also does men's. So then, like, she'll get a dress and he'll get a dress and they'll an outfit and they'll match it. And I think it's kind of fun and fresh. No?
I guess in that sense, I'm very American. I want to, like, wow my groom. Like, I want to step out and it be like, oh my God, babe, you're beautiful. I'm crying. I want that moment. Like, I love being, like, admired and adored, especially by the person that I'm dating. So I just want to have that moment where I know that they're, like, so obsessed with me that I brought them to tears.
But I mean, it hits different in the store compared to, like, when you have your hair and your makeup and the whole look is complete, you know?
No, it's just not the same. It's a little anticlimactic if they've already seen it. It's like when you get to a first date and you're dressed. It's like if you were going on a first date and you FaceTimed him first and so he knew what you look like.
Oh.
And then it's like when you get there, it's like, oh, wow, you look great. I'm seeing you in person, but I've ruined the surprise. Like, when I step out of the car and you're standing there, it should be like a, like my breath has been taken away by your beauty in this moment. Or just like a surprise moment.
I see what you mean, but, you know, that was just my quarantine watch for this week. Say Yes to Dress India. Highly recommend. But something that we watched together this week that is actually very out of the norm for us.
Completely.
Yeah, guys, we watched
Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Which is not something I think I've probably seen like 3 episodes of that.
No, same.
And it's been on for forever and everybody loves it. And I got in that sitting yesterday, I was like, oh, I get this. I was like, I'm feeling this. I liked it.
Yeah.
I think because they had somebody on there that was the CEO of a tech company. I just liked her insights on the different kind of technology stuff that was coming up on the episode. And I have like a newfound respect for Damon John because he was on another podcast, The Morning Toast, and I just really liked his interview and I just liked his vibe. And he's like old school, like Black entrepreneur from the 90s, you know, like I just liked his vibe and I don't know. I just really liked it. So yesterday I was like very like into it. I don't know why, but I was so into it.
I was so impressed with the young woman that was on the panel. What's her name?
Oh, the girl from 23andMe. Yeah.
The founder of 23andMe completely amazed me. She has her hand in so many projects and so many industries. She has 23andMe. They were doing skincare at one point. And then she also was in the educational space. Like, I was really impressed by her. And honestly, I love seeing people pitch their ideas. I've realized that. Yeah, I like it too. I like breaking down the business of it. And I feel like I know when an idea is good and I instantly am like, yes, this is it. This is making money. Like I'm like, what are the numbers? I want to know all the numbers and the analytics behind everything. I'm like, what are your channels? How much is your ad spend? Like, you know, like I'm all into that. Maybe that's the marketing side of me. But I just really like that. I was like, I want to watch this. Can we watch the next episode?
I'm going to start recording them, I think. Or like, I don't know. Should we like go back and watch old episodes?
I don't think we should watch old episodes. I wouldn't binge a show like that.
Yeah, maybe not. I would probably get tired of it.
Yeah, but like I do want to see the next episode.
I'll set it to record.
Yeah.
For sure. And one thing I have to talk about that we're definitely going to start watching. So if anybody wants to come on this journey with us, because we're going to record this for the show, but we are going to start watching on Bravo Summer House.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm so freaking excited.
For sure. So Summer House comes on right after the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So as I was watching Beverly Hills for the last 3 weeks, I've seen the very beginning of Summer House episodes, and I'm like, that guy's hot. That guy's hot. I'm like, this show looks interesting. The girls are all messy, and I just keep thinking, do I want to get into this? Do I want to get into this?
Yeah.
Maybe I should watch this. And so yesterday, it was on again, and I was like, oh my God, we need to watch this. And I watched the episode last night, which was their season finale. And the reason why I even turned on Shark Tank is just because their reunion was starting, and I didn't want to watch that because I was watching it with you. And so I switched the channel to Shark Tank. But yeah, we're going to start Summer House. I'm really excited for that.
I'm super excited for that because it's this group of friends that rents a house in the Hamptons for the summer, and Bravo records it. These people actually all know each other and they're friends throughout the year. Yes, and they all date each other, and I just like that. It's messy, and they're all a mess. The little bit that I saw of it with you, homeboy, tall, a guy, he was bawling.
Yeah, he's a hot mess. And I was in bed last night, and Bravo was on my TV, and so I just saw a little clip, and now he's in rehab.
Oh my
gosh. He's sober now. And so I'm just really excited. We're going to start from the beginning. I asked Twitter, and Twitter advisors have let me know that I need to start from season 1, even though there are some characters on season 1 that are insufferable, but we're going to power through, and we're going to watch all 4 seasons, and we'll talk about it on the pod.
Yeah, we'll let you guys know how that goes. And if you listen to my other podcast, Tipsy 20s, you know that I love a Hamptons moment. Okay?
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Can't wait. And the one other thing that I've been watching this week, I've finally finished The Wire. I've been binging that for a long time. Couple months now. I've been slowly watching the seasons. There's 5 seasons. And it was an emotional roller coaster. I love a good cop. I love a good bad guy story. I love things about drug dealers and about the mob and
the robbers, the hitters, the shooters.
I love that. And so season 1 I was totally hooked, and then I was totally down for the rest of the show. And as the seasons go on, you get to see different aspects of, government, police, and crime, and how they all intersect in Baltimore. And, some of the seasons were really tough. Season 4 was so emotional for me to watch. I cried through the entire thing. I had to take a break. I was watching the first week of quarantine, and it literally made me depressed.
That was me watching The Handmaid's Tale the first week of quarantine. Don't recommend. 0 out of 10.
So I had to take a break, and then I went back to it this week, and I've finished the season, and I just really enjoyed it. I thought the story was really great. I really liked the ending. It was satisfying. It was a little bit heartbreaking at times. Some of the characters where they ended up, I just felt awful for them. But I thought the show ended well, and I thought it really did teach me a lot about just the interplay between the police and the drug dealers and the politicians, and the way that the system is set up, and the schools, and just the poverty and the crime and the drug abuse that the kids in the inner city have to deal with. And it was a really great series. I understand why people love it. I'm not gonna say that it's on my favorite shows list, some people, but I really, really enjoyed it. I would recommend it 10 out of 10. It's a good watch.
Maybe I'll get into it.
And Idris is in the first 2 seasons. So I can be daddy.
Oh my gosh, you guys, let us know what you think of the other shows we watched this week.
Yes.
Now it is.
Oh, if I'm going to assign one other thing along with Summer House for you to watch, also watch Dead to Me on Netflix.
Okay.
Because that is another thing that you will be starting. The season 2 drops tomorrow. Well, it's going, as you are listening to this, it will drop today. And I will be watching that this weekend, and we'll probably, if you watch it, hopefully, over this next week, maybe we can talk about it next week.
Okay, cool.
But we will definitely be reviewing Dead to Me because season 1 was the bomb. I loved it. Everybody that's watched it loves that show. It's on Netflix. It's so good. So we'll be getting into that. So that's your homework, listeners.
Okay, yeah, we're back to Netflix, so get on it.
Yes, get into it.
Now, let us get into the tea.
The tea.
Time for tea. What's your first story?
Okay, so as we all know, this Monday was supposed to be the Met Gala. It was very sad, but
Right.
we're in quarantine, so it is what it is. And celebrities, of course, did what celebrities did. They posted on Instagram all about their past Met Gala looks and the times that they had and how much they missed not being there and how they can't wait for next year and how sad it is that we're in quarantine. And people are really upset.
Okay, so I didn't hear about the controversy. I was actually living for all of the old Met Gala posts.
Me too.
Because a bunch of YouTubers even did videos like, oh, my favorite Met Gala looks. Like, I think even Vogue did a piece on it, like our best Met Gala looks of all time, since this year we don't have one.
Yes.
And I was just here for it. And then when you told me that the peoples were mad.
The peoples were mad.
I was genuinely confused.
Yes, like even Bethany Frankel was like, I actually want to shoot my brain. Like the celebrities and their Met Gala posts, like, kill me now.
What?
Yeah, and I was like, damn, this is like a couple of people I've seen them complain about these Met Gala posts, and I'm just like, but why though? Like,
why are y'all pressed? I mean, I understand the argument of like, people are not in a good place right now. Like, many people have lost family members. Many people are going through it.
Yes, one of the arguments I saw, or somebody tweeted, they were like, oh, you're sad that you can't go to the Met Gala? Well, I'm sad that I lost my father. And it's like,
yeah,
completely understand. But that post is not for you then, babe.
It's not for you.
It does not apply.
And it is unnecessary for you to comment on it. Like, if I want to relive my memories and if I want to be a little upset that I'm missing an event this year, why am I not allowed? Yeah.
Can I live? I think at this point in quarantine, the argument that everything is out of touch is like no longer valid. Like, we've been in, like, at this point, this is our new normal, and it's no longer a shock. Like, everybody should be used to it at this point, or like almost used to it at this point.
Yeah.
So it's like, let us find joy where we can. Let people like live and breathe and just like do what they're doing to like get through it all. If they're gonna post old pictures of them in pretty dresses, like, just take the pretty picture at what it is. It's a pretty picture. Like, it's not that deep. Everything does not need to be think pieced. And like, everything doesn't apply. Like, if you're in a bad place because you've lost somebody or you're sick or you've had like family members that are sick or whatever, like, maybe get off of social media. Like, maybe temper what you're seeing so you're focused on the things that you need to focus on.
Oh, yeah.
Like, why are you focused on things that don't apply to you? Like, let people live.
Yeah, you're a big advocate for tempering the things you see on social media, like we've discussed. But I will say, we were one of the first people to say in the beginning of quarantine that the celebrity posts were unnecessary and they needed to stop because people were experiencing tough times. But now that definitely does not apply.
I agree. I think we've reached the point that it's like, I think people can like try to like just look for the good times, think back on the positive things that have happened. Like, I think it's not so serious. Like,
yeah, let
it go.
Let them live. Okay.
Yes.
My tea for this episode is something I don't know if you know about.
I don't know.
So
You seem so excited.
I love this piece of tea. So Safaree is one of the first male celebrities to make an OnlyFans.
What?
Safaree.
Like little Nicki
Minaj's ex-boyfriend has made an OnlyFans.
What's his content like?
What do you think?
I mean, because I've seen, okay, but is it like tame or is it X-rated?
Okay, I actually watched a YouTube video of a review of his OnlyFans to get research for this episode. And shout out to Adam22 that actually purchased it and reviewed the whole thing. He's a straight man and he was like, I just want to see what's going on. Apparently, he is about to release a nude.
Oh, I mean, we've all seen his penis already.
Yeah, but the fact that people are actually buying this to see it again and again and again is very interesting.
But is he going to be making videos or posting just pictures?
So far, what's there is sexy photos, and if you pay extra, you can see videos of explicit content. But he's about to release. He may have already done it. I haven't been keeping up with it. He's about to release on his main OnlyFans page the nudes, and people are excited. And people are saying that this is revolutionary, and male celebrities are going to start hopping on this.
This is interesting.
Isn't it?
I'm having so many thoughts right now because I haven't heard about this at all. I haven't really been on Twitter that much this week. Wow. Okay. Yes. So my first thought is what's the content? That's the first question. Second of all, when I hear he's posting sexy photos, in my mind, sexy photos of a man don't hit the way that sexy photos of a woman hit.
Of course.
They're, you know.
But I don't think his audience, I don't think his audience is mostly women. I think it's probably a lot of men that
find him attractive.
Of course, there's going to be some girls that are into it, but women are definitely not as visual.
I just would like to know, is he going to make videos of him actually masturbating? Because a lot of girls on OnlyFans, they're making videos and they're
yeah,
they're not just standing there and twerking. They're doing a whole lot more. So I just would. Or is he gonna be having sex with somebody? He's married now. He's married to Erica Mena.
He's married to Erica Mena.
Is she gonna get in on the action? What? Huh?
Yeah, okay. So as far as I know, most of the celebrities that have been making OnlyFans, they've been doing things little by little, and they're not really doing porn some of the other people. They're just doing
sexy pictures, lingerie pictures. This one girl that was on Love Island UK, she has an OnlyFans, and from what I've seen people talk about it, it's just lingerie shoots, sexy lingerie shoots, but she's not actually nude, I don't think.
And implied nudity as well. Yeah, and something like that you wouldn't necessarily post on your Instagram. So if you really do love that celebrity and you're attracted to them and you want to see those photos, I could understand why you'd get it.
Totally.
Yeah, so what Safaree's doing, I mean, I'm kind of here for it. I just think it was an interesting piece of tea, and I think
that is interesting.
A lot of men will probably do this because once again, it is different for men to do sex work than women.
Yes,
and
I agree.
He is gonna keep his reputation was already in shambles, but he's gonna keep his reputation even though he's doing that.
Yeah, he'll continue to be on Love and Hip Hop, and then this will be a storyline next year.
Yeah.
And that's just very interesting. I wonder, how much is it? Not that I would buy it because he's a little gross to me, but
I think it's $20-something.
Wow, it's expensive.
I mean, compared to some of the other celebrities' OnlyFans, this one girl that was dating Trippie Redd, her OnlyFans is $50.
What?
And people are buying it. And she hasn't even posted herself completely naked yet.
Interesting.
Right?
Have you seen those TikToks of the guy that that review the different OnlyFans?
No.
He buys like all these girls' OnlyFans and goes through it and leaves like real reviews.
I think I actually saw something like this on
He's
Twitter.
like, she's worth it. She's not doing anything. Like, buy at your own risk. But I thought that was cute. I think it's in OnlyFans had a week, like after the Beyonce song, and now, you know, all of these reviews. I think OnlyFans is having like a moment right now, which I think is, I mean, good for them. Yeah. And good for the people that are doing it. I just, interesting.
Right?
Interesting.
But it makes sense, Safaree, because like everybody loved that one photo of him.
Yeah. I mean, if there's ever someone to do it, it makes sense. Like, I could see like him. I could see Ray J. I could see who else is like obnoxious.
All the people that we already seen their
yeah, you know, I could definitely see Ray J.
Yeah.
That is interesting. Okay, well, my next piece of tea is that Adele can now add Skinny Legend to her bio.
Yes, snaps for Adele. But like, this was actually a very controversial topic on Twitter.
Yes. And, you know, she posted pictures of herself recently and she's looking as snatched as ever. She has lost a whole lot of weight. And
I think she looks amazing.
I think she looks great, but she's always been beautiful. Like,
not that she looked bad before. And I think that's the problem, is that like you think, oh, like when someone loses weight and everyone's complimenting them, it's implying that they looked bad before. No, Adele was always freaking beautiful.
Right.
Like,
she's always been beautiful. She's very talented. Like, I don't think any of that has ever changed. Like, bitch's face is always beat down. Like, her eyeliner stays snatched. Like, yeah, you know, she always looks amazing. So I don't think I don't know, for me it's not the weight loss. I just think she looks like happy and youthful. And yeah, like, who does, I mean, I don't know. It's a controversial thing to be like, you look better when you're skinny. But like, she looks good. I can't even lie. And you never want someone that has like lost a lot of weight to like form a complex around it and make it feel like, oh, if I gain any weight back, like I'm less than I am at my current weight.
Yeah.
But I think she looks great. And I think I think people are always going to make a big deal of people being overweight and like people losing weight. Like, I don't think there's any way to like talk about it without it feeling controversial or feeling fat phobic or feeling like you're putting a stigma on the topic. But, you know, I think she looks great.
I think she looks good, and
I can't wait for the new album.
Oh my gosh, that album is gonna hit different because sis is divorced. Sis looks like she's in a better place. Yeah. Like, I am ready for that. I already feel the feeling that she gives you. I feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel if everybody's like, it's going to be like happy bops, but I think it's going to be like some painful. I think she's going to go back to like 21.
Yeah, and I actually want her to.
Me too. I want it to be sad. I want it to be heartbreaking. I want to cry. Yeah. I was literally just looking at videos from the last concert that I went to, and I was like, I cannot freaking wait for the next tour.
But what do you think of the blogs and all of the articles on it? Because people were saying that nobody should read those, that we should like be boycotting. Like, what do you think of like those stories about people losing
people's weight?
Yeah, because like people, I mean, it's nothing new. People write articles about Britney when she loses weight, about Christina Aguilera, about Beyonce. So like, I wonder if...
I think people will always be obsessed with weight, unfortunately. I think it's just one of those things, like, aesthetics are just always going to be something that celebrity culture focuses on. And anything to deal with celebrity culture is always going to be one of those things that people are always going to talk about. And I
definitely don't think it's news, though.
I don't think
it shouldn't have been in the news cycle of like the blogs and e-news and entertainment.
I don't think so. Yeah. I think focusing on the weight and not just like she looks good
is maybe where I could see the problem. But I think in so many ways in the past couple of years, certain celebrities have really focused heavily on being more like body conscious and
body positive,
that I think you should be able to talk about weight, whether it's on the high end or the low end or anywhere in between, in a positive manner. I don't think it should feel dirty to talk about weight loss or someone being happy with their weight wherever they may land. So I don't know. I don't know about the boycotts, but I think it's just one of those things that I don't feel like society has fully figured out how to talk about. We don't quite know how to handle weight with like care in the same way you talk about like victims of assault or the same kind of like authority like across the board is in terms of like the way we talk about race or economic inequality and things like that. I just think it's one of those things that we haven't quite figured out yet. So anywhere you land, it's always going to kind of be a problem.
I wonder what the British media had to say about her weight, because they are ruthless.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Curious. Something to look up.
Yeah. Okay. And the last thing I just want to mention is if you have Xfinity, this upcoming week, starting on Monday, is a Watch-A-Thon week.
Yes, our favorite freaking week. Watch-A-Thon week, like, births fans.
Yes.
I remember the first time I watched Game of Thrones was on a Watch-A-Thon week.
Yeah.
So get ready, y'all.
They make all of their premium content available for you to watch for free for the entire week, and you can just like binge everything. Like this is like perfect for quarantine because you have nowhere to go, nowhere to be, nothing to do, and I cannot wait.
Oh my gosh, wait, are we gonna be at the vacay house?
Yeah.
Oh, and they have Xfinity?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So yeah,
just making sure.
Yeah. So Watch-A-Thon week, here we come. Woo woo.
Get into it.
Okay, guys, so that is all we have for you this week. Thank you for listening to another episode of the TV&T podcast.
Yes, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe and also leave a rating and review, but only if it's nice. You know the drill.
Nice things.
And then you can follow us at the TV&T podcast on Instagram and Twitter.
And you can follow my personal Instagram, XO Adriana Alicia.
Yeah, and then mine is Selena Stan with 2 N's.
All right, guys. So we will see you next week. I hope you enjoyed. Have a lovely weekend.
Peace out.
Bye.